Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Severe Health series. We are excited to have Nate from QuickBlox with us. Nate, hello to you,
Hi.
and welcome to the show.
Hi, yes. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to learn a little bit what we're doing in healthcare innovation and appreciate the opportunity to share with you and your audience.
Absolutely. So this is a great place to start. I know QuickBlox does a lot of things, but we're specifically interested in all your efforts in healthcare. How do you fit in the health tech space? And yeah, introduce yourself, please, with your background, perhaps, and how you came to be at QuickBlox, and how it fits into the health tech space.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'm a bit of a repeat entrepreneur. So my background was originally in the SMS space and mobile content, like in the days when we still had feature phones and the smartphones came on through, and then also in media before that. Early days of my career, I was helping deliver SMS services to a variety of different companies throughout Europe, for carriers to do value-added services for anything from Java games to chat services to informational services. And then got the entrepreneurial bug and kind of created some direct consumer mobile content businesses in Europe. And then after kind of exiting that business, became a bit involved in trying to figure out what was next. And we kind of saw how basically so many services were needing things like APIs for communication and for digital communication type services. And so then that's how I started QuickBlox, where we look to offer real-time communication services and platforms for a variety of different industries. And specifically with healthcare, it's kind of something that developed over time because effectively organizations would need things like their own secure WhatsApp internally to allow doctors and patients to communicate or have some internal collaboration. And because obviously we're offering tools like messaging, video calling, file sharing, then obviously that led to a number of different telehealth applications that would use our services to power. And with the advent of AI, basically generative AI is kind of changing the game again. So communication isn't just with one another, it's also potentially with machines and agents. So we've also woven in a generative AI and a kind of an intelligence into the communication platform to cover a variety of different healthcare use cases. My background was more on the business side than the technical side, but kind of delivering product and services for customers.
Fantastic. I also started my career in messaging, actually in paging,
Yeah,
30 or so years ago. And believe it or not, we still have pagers in hospitals, some hospitals around the world. Very sad
yeah.
state of affairs. But
Well,
fast
no, when I
forward
was
to
in the
your,
SMS business, sorry not to interrupt, but there was one person in that business who was still selling pager services, even though we're doing all the SMS confirmations for exactly that reason, right? It's like, hey, there's people still need to get that number and call back, right? But yeah, totally understand that.
but fast forward to today, you have a smart chat assistant. But there are a lot of solutions in this space that are also HIPAA compliant, like Microsoft Teams. So, what sets yourself apart from other sort of communication and collaboration tools that are out there?
Yeah, so I mean that's a great question. Effectively, because we've come out of this providing for a variety of different customers their ability to do HIPAA compliant messaging and communication, video calling. Our view is that you had to integrate the AI technology, directly in those communication workflows and enable kind of seamless interactions between humans and
Mm,
AI. So that could mean things like the AI is going to have its own knowledge base. You're going to be able to have things like some sort of programmable smart intake, have some sort of logic where that can go to like a RAG or a Copilot, and then the ability to kind of figure out with a human handover. So, I mean, Microsoft does great tools. We also use OpenAI, which is effectively, some of their underlying technology.
mm.
But what we're trying to do is make sure that our healthcare customers can tie it, within their own workflows. And also they want to have control of the data. So we enable also the solutions to be hosted within their own environment. So that's kind of, I guess, one of the distinctions.
Yeah, and speaking of AI integration, I'd like to know more about how you're integrating AI in a way that enhances communication while staying within the boundaries of various regulations. It's very important in healthcare. And as a patient
Yeah.
advocate, of course, I'm also very interested in patient data remaining secure and private. So tell us more about that integration.
Yeah, I mean, like our health data is some of the most personal data that we have as individuals. So I don't think you can do business with healthcare organizations without having that be like front and center of the importance of maintaining personal data. So with our LLM providers, like OpenAI, we have a BA with them for non-retention. And what does non-retention mean? It means you don't want to pass that data back to the model from the user's own direct communication. In addition, obviously, if people are sharing information with you through some sort of chat or real-time communication use cases, you need to make sure those connections are encrypted, and they also need to make sure that effectively those databases are as well, in case someone wants to hack in there and like try and pull off some information about the user, that it's going to be encrypted when the database, so they can't do anything with that. And then because the healthcare organizations also, the data has a proprietary element to it as well. I mean, the data is also IP. Have some agreement of data residency in terms of that data can be hosted within their own organization or with their own cloud. So that's the kind of the big distinction, that the customer actually has control of their data with our software, because we deploy our software in the environment. And speaking of kind of like international things, I mean, we are seeing requirements in a number of different countries now where they also want to have that data resident within their own geographic areas, whether it be Germany, or whether it be Saudi Arabia or other markets. So yeah, I mean, you have to start with privacy and security of data is kind of the first step, really.
Well, that's great. That's fundamental, and it sounds like you're starting with that in mind as you design various services. So speaking of which, let's talk about another offering you have, which is a Q Consultation. So can you walk us through how Q Consultation helps healthcare providers, specifically what its standout features, and is it potentially a game changer in healthcare? Does it help providers and therefore improves patient care? Any specific features you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess if we kind of to break down our products at the base level, we've got a platform which enables people to add the real-time communication and the AI assistance in a HIPAA-compliant way. And then we have this smart chat assistant, which you can kind of train up on your own knowledge base, and then have that do things like smart intake, intelligent human handover, and then you have the ability to then tie to the virtual consultation. And that's where the Q Consultation product comes in, is basically we've tied in telemedicine, telehealth, kind of a CRM interface together with an AI assistant capability. So effectively you can manage kind of an end-to-end process of, here, let's take some intake information in a safe and secure way. Let's have the AI assistant summarize that information, because AI is absolutely great at that, allowing that information then to be passed to a knowledge base, like a RAG, if you're familiar with AI-related terms. So the user can interact and get kind of good answers to questions. And then when you hit the limit of the RAG, or you need to have human oversight, then to be able to basically have the context known, so you can hand it over to the professional. And that could be a provider, could be a nurse, could be an admin staff. So we've kind of built this workflow to make that happen. So we do think it's a game changer, because right now there's a lot of these functionalities which are kind of in their own little silos. So we're basically looking to make a workflow that people can take, integrate in their own apps, and some ready solutions that they can plug off the shelf. So yeah, we're proud of it, actually. So thank you. I appreciate the question.
Wow, fantastic. Well, can we get rid of the clipboards in the intake process? Maybe I'm kidding. We're never going to get rid of clipboards.
So like, I mean, literally that's a use case we've been discussing with some customers right now, is instead of having the clipboard, have it be a combination of an AI generated form plus AI assistant, which can either allow people to type in the answers, or have the assistant gently prompt kind of responses that they need. And you can also do that by a voice, and then have that information hopefully summarized, so that by the time they come and see a provider, that information is already done. So we're doing this kind of virtually at the moment, but we're also exploring some use cases with some partners about actually doing that in office. So then even you get that big old fat clipboard, and like it's the same thing over and over, tick 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 tick. Oh shoot, I clicked the tick a yes when I meant to tick a no or whatever to, have a better way to do that, right?
Brilliant. Well, I was just
Well,
kidding. So
and
it's
let's
great to see that's actually happening. So maybe fax machines will be next. Who knows? But I guess the point is there's a massive upgrade to our infrastructure for healthcare that's needed in terms of IT and patient experience. How is the market looking in terms of adoption? Are you seeing a big appetite out there for these kind of solutions? And maybe talk about your go to market.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think AI, as far as transforming, two major industries, I would say the two that's going to make the biggest impact on will be healthcare and education. I think in very positive ways because, the shorting staffages in healthcare, the high administrative burden, the kind of disparate networks of communication. All those are areas of efficiency that need to be improved. So in terms of our go-to-market, we're finding adoption from a variety of kind of physician entrepreneurs who want to kind of take a look at their particular use cases, whether it be around behavioral health or musculoskeletal, or in terms of on the practice level of, these use cases around better patient intake, to larger kind of health organizations that are looking to make their communications smarter with the addition of AI into those kind of communications. So, right now, most of our customers are more in the health tech rather than the healthcare side, but with some kind of the ready solutions that we're pushing on out, which are more low code and easily integrated, we're looking to go, directly to providers and practices to integrate these technologies to kind of really remove some of their administrative burdens. And so, yeah, part of it is just finding the right connections and contacts within the organizations who, want to take advantage of AI and innovation to improve their existing workflows.
Yeah, great points. And here you mentioned the workflow again, which I was gonna bring up and go back to Evan's comment on the clipboard. Well, if the clipboard really works, let's keep the clipboard because maybe we can
this is controversial.
fit into the existing workflow by not taking things away, but making things easier. So let's take the administrative burden in other areas, and if clipboard is something that they still need.
Well, we're not necessarily replacing the clipboard, right? You're bringing the clipboard to 2.0, right? And you're using tools that are there that, those clipboards are there for a reason, right? The providers don't want to miss some important information about your health history or health context. And so we're able to capture that information via the chat or the communication. But I think, as you say, it's about modernizing the patient experience across different channels and different ways they interact. So I completely agree with you. Definitely, we don't want to get rid of what they're trying to achieve with that clipboard. We just want to figure out how we improve that process, right?
Right. And if that's the element of human in the loop, then we want to keep that, and then breaking the silos you mentioned. So I want to go back to that. So let's talk about AI and communication in particular. You mentioned healthcare and education. Obviously, communication is paramount in both of those verticals. Now we're focused on healthcare and improving patient outcomes. So what other ways do you see AI improving communication aspect of healthcare? So you talked about health tech. We need to build the infrastructure better, and then eventually that could be brought into the healthcare. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, because AI, when people say AI, that means a lot of different things, right?
Right.
Like, what kind of AI are you talking about? So, like, in terms of like when humans communicate with machines, or when machines kind of impart kind of intelligence on human conversations, that's kind of called AI mediated communication, right? And that could be anything from people chatting with a chat bot to like an AI suggesting the answers to a conversation that you might be having with someone, right? That the AI could be a listener in the background. We all are note takers or scribes to what we do. And then the other thing is, AI speaks a lot more languages than I do or you do. So if someone sends you a message in Spanish or someone sends you a message in Swiss German, then you're going to be able to click on a button and have that brought back to your native language. So in terms of how we're weaving it into our own products is exactly that. So allow AI to kind of do translation of the messages when it comes across so that people can see it within their native language through AI translation. We also, AI is a great editor and a great writer. So effectively, if you're not great at writing responses, you can kind of put in, bullet points or what you want. And you can ask AI to edit the response, as you see fit, maybe put it in a more professional manner. AI can also not forget things. So you can also have the AI provide, some sort of suggested questions to you as well as part of that process. And then because we're doing the virtual consultation too with the telehealth visit, the video call, we also now have some AI that can, read that transcript, provide a SOAP note, which is obviously the details of the visit, and then some ICD-10 and CPT codes, so that to save the provider some time and have that information available, and then the ability to have that sent across to the patient so they get a summary of their call as well, because they might go, hey, I went to the doctor, what did he tell me to do? And then, so this way, there's a bunch of different areas there. I mean, AI is great, as we know, summarizing, suggesting answers, working from knowledge base, translating. So we want to kind of just weave that directly into the communication workflows for healthcare, if that answers your question.
Wonderful. Well, great mission. If there's a company in our space listening, whether they're a provider or maybe a health insurance company or a practice, I mean, how do you get started down this road using AI, using tools like yours, when there's so much legacy infrastructure out there? There's lack of a lot of IT resources to help. What are the first kind of baby steps that a company needs to think about?
Yeah, I mean, so on the platform side, we use things like APIs, SDKs, and UI kits. These are like some packages of code that allow developers to kind of easily integrate these capabilities into their existing websites or applications. And then on the end user side, like the actual provider who might log in or the patient who might interact, we provide some widgets, AI bots, and some kind of admin interfaces, website interfaces where people can log into that they can white label and customize for what they want to do. And so that way we're trying to lower the barriers so that, you can have more providers use those type of tools rather than have to have a whole development team who is going to put the solution in place, right? And I think that's one of the key changes that AI actually brings is, people are now expecting to type something into some command line. They ask the AI to do something and it does it. Like, hey, go book me an appointment, or hey, tell me what are the side effects of this, that, or the other. So we also want to provide some good, customer facing, provider facing interfaces that people can interact with easily. And then, so some of these tools we have available for, just download off our website, or we've got, some widgets that they can plug into their own services with very little development resource. So yeah, so we're looking to accommodate both of those things. But it's a challenge, right? There's lots of different systems and lots of different use cases. So trying to figure out the ones that can add the most value the most easily.
Well, very good, very interesting. So you're saying people who want to get started with QuickBlox can go and find you where exactly?
Yeah, we'd love it. They visit our website, QuickBlox.com. Yeah, they can get in touch with our commercial team and we can provide some demos of either Smart Chat Assistant, Q Consultation, or our platform. We have some sources on GitHub of some ready apps that people can download and play with. So we have a variety of different channels they can come across and look to access our technology.
Oh, that sounds really great. If people want to get started, you gave them ways to make the some first steps. So great conversation. In conclusion, I wanted to ask you what's specifically next on your personal radar, and then what are kind of the next things you're looking to tackle with QuickBlox? Any events, conferences, anything you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to determine whether or not to go to Health in Vegas this next month, because that's obviously a big, IT health conference as well. I'm based in Silicon Valley, so there's all sorts of AI events kind of always going on there. And it's trying to find the balance of, meeting the right connections at events versus kind of going out there and running your business and, working with customers to help them solve use cases. And we've got some pretty interesting use cases with, physicians who are looking to implement these technologies into, just their own practice website or within, use cases for their customers. So it's always kind of a bit of a balance to, do those two things. Yeah, we're really excited about kind of where AI is going, in the sense of like the next step in AI, and you guys have probably already seen about this, is about agentic workflows. So it's not only just having the AI assistant, be able to answer you, great questions or the rest of it, but then to actually, set them with tasks and have them book your appointment, do your travel, right? All these kind of additional capabilities to make them more autonomous. And so we're looking to also add that within our workflow builders. So then, not only taking the patient and the rest of it, but actually, dynamically kind of, taking actions on behalf of that person, to kind of help aid the administrative burden. So that could be a provider where they might ask the AI to go gather the patient records, put them in a nice summary for them, or it could be a use case where you have automatic appointment booking or kind of insurance verification processes, which happen in real time to save these fax machines or these calls that are all going on in healthcare constantly, right?
Wow, what a wonderful opportunity and mission to simplify the consumer and patient and provider experience. We're all rooting for you
Thank you.
as patients. So good luck for that. And yeah, thanks for the time and the insight. Speaking of events, come meet us at an event that we're excited about in December down in San Diego and at the Dell Coronado NextMed, a great get
Okay.
together of industry insiders and physician entrepreneurs and startups and others. It'd be
Yeah.
a great community to check out. And you can't beat San Diego in
No, I'm actually
December.
in San Diego in late November. I'll have to look at the dates because maybe I can
Oh yeah,
another excuse to
Oh
go
yeah.
down there. So yeah, it's a great time.
absolutely. So maybe we'll
All
see you there. And thanks everyone. Thanks for listening and watching. Much appreciated. Take care.
right. Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much
Nate.
for having
Thanks,
me. I appreciate
everyone.
it.